Hey everyone, what's up? I know another fucking goddamn Ground Zero Mosque video. You know, I'm tired of them as well. It's just that people keep making videos about it, and they keep on bringing up points that I want to address that I feel that I didn't address in any of my other videos, or if I did, I didn't feel that I addressed them, you know, as well as I could have. So, you know, I'll try not to make this, you know, this like a continuing series. You know, although saying that, I probably will make more videos about it, but I'll try not to. I know it's like the topic du jour of YouTube these days. So you know, I'm sorry if you don't want to watch this video, then don't watch it. But you know, this whole thing will blow over soon enough. It just pisses me off that these people. Do you not have anything better to do with your lives than to protest this completely innocuous community centre? I mean, how good do people in America have it, where, you know, the only thing that they can find to protest is some fucking 13-story community centre near where where 9/11 happened? I mean, do you not have anything better to do? I mean, are your lives so empty and vacuous that you feel that you have to put all your, you know, your repressed anger and emotions and bigotry into this fight? Because it's just so nothing. It's just so nothing, this argument. But anyway, I'm sorry. I was getting fucking off track there. I did want to bring up a couple of points. One of the things is that the Thunderf00t video, in which he said that if there were Christian terrorists that, you know, flew a plane into Mecca, which is like one of the holiest sites in Islam, along with Medina, they would have a problem with a church being built there some, you know, 8-9 years hence. And this is true, but then it's a completely fallacious analogy, because, you know, the World Trade Center is not a holy site. You know, bringing it, you know, making it a holy site doesn't sit very well with me. It makes me feel very uneasy. But I'll get to that a little bit later. And you also hear not only that it's a holy site, but you hear a lot of people saying that you know, it's a sacred site. And so I wondered, what did people mean by sacred? So I looked at the definition. You know, I want to, you know, make sure exactly I knew what kind of, you know, I want to make sure that the words we use are the correct words. And so the two definitions I found of sacred were, the first one was concerned with religion or religious purposes. Now this doesn't apply at all. I know that the people that flew, the Islamic terrorists, they were fueled by religion, but the Ground Zero really doesn't have anything to do with religious purposes. You know, I'm sure there are lots of Christians out there who would love to have some sort of mega church with a, you know, a 40-foot Jesus on top with a, you know, with a huge cock jizzing all over Allah or something, while you have, you know, mechanical angels blaring out Bible verses so that everyone within 6 blocks can hear them. But that just ain't gonna happen. The second definition I found is that it's something that's worthy of respect or dedication. Now, I agree with the dedication part, and I may get flamed with this, but not with the respect to a certain extent, and I'll try and explain this as best I can before I get, you know, completely hammered by this. Not everyone in Ground Zero was an angel, okay? I know they all died under tragic circumstances, but I'm not going to respect someone just because they had a tragic death. I do believe that there should be a dedication on Ground Zero, memorizing, you know, that tragic event and the people who died there. But that's not. I'm not going to give automatic respect to someone, because just like every other group, there are going to be, you know, liars and, you know, thieves and things like that. You know, I'm sure there were people that were in Ground Zero that, you know, beat their wives, that, you know, maybe even abused their children, did other shit like that. I'm sure they weren't all, you know, people that dedicated their lives to work and charity and working towards the rights of others. So I'm not gonna, you know, if we found out that someone, you know, was a wife beater or raped someone or something, and they died on 9/11, I'm not going to give them respect just because they died on 9/11. So that's what I'm trying to say. I didn't explain it very clearly, but I hope you know what I meant. You know, and I know there's a lot of people that don't like jokes being told about it as well, but, you know, freedom of speech, one of the things that come under that, one of the little subsets, is comedic freedom, and I'm a big, you know, I'm a big proponent of this. You know, I've said this before, but I'm of the ilk that either everything's okay to make fun of, or nothing is, and that's probably one of the reasons why I like comedy that really pushes the limits of things that other people would find really offensive. But I just like it because, you know, one, it's pretty fucking funny, and two, it shows that we have this society that accepts this and say it's okay. I may not agree with it, but you're allowed to tell these kind of jokes. What was the next thing I want to talk about? Okay, right. You know, I'm sure, just like a lot of people here, you know, you want pretty much the opposites of what the terrorists want. You know, the terrorists, you know, well, these to say Al Qaeda, to be specific, they want to, you know, control people through fear and violence, and try to use those tactics in order to try and force people to believe them. You know, most of us don't want to do that. You know, I want rational discourse. You know, I think that could solve a lot of problems. So this dedication would be a fine way to honour the victims of 9/11, but let's not turn the entire site into a holy place. I think what they should do is, of course, have the dedication, but also put something in it that's productive to the city, to you know, whether it's a museum or, you know, maybe more places where businesses can operate, something like that. I don't think the terrorists would like that. You know, for people to remember the terrible things that happened on 9/11, but also to use the site for, as I said, business or work, and to just get on with their lives. You know, that they are banking on ramping up the fear and bigotry. I mean, that was one of the reasons that they committed this atrocity. You know, this is what they want. You know, that they want this people to be scared and to be angry. You know, this Ground Zero mosque thing is like pay dirt for them. You know, it gives them more reasons to give to young men and women in order to brainwash them against America. You know, it's like the link that Coffin 666 or 616 talked about in his video, that now certain Islamic extremists are using the bigotry that we're seeing against the near Ground Zero community center. They're using the arguments as propaganda. They're saying, oh, see, this is what happens when all these moderate Muslims are trying to erect a community centre, and you're getting all this disgusting racism and hatred, and they're using this as propaganda. So you're giving them exactly what they fucking want. You know, the Ground Zero should be seen as something that, you know, a terrible thing happened, but people should be able to get on with their lives. You know, you still want to remember the past, but you need to move forward. You know, it's like with war memorials. I know this wasn't, like, you know, part of a declaration of war or anything. People every year still honour the dead of World War I and World War II, but you know, we still get on with our lives, and that's what we should do. And I think that's the thing that the terrorists want the least, to try and get on with our lives. Even though this tragedy thing happened, we're still not going to be terrified into bowing down to these Islamic fundamentalists. And the last thing I want to talk about, I'm sorry this is a long video, is that the argument that some people have used in order to argue for the community centre, and they say that it's 4 blocks away and you can't even see Ground Zero from the community centre. And I see why they do this. I really do. It's kind of to almost give a little concession. So, you know, it is 4 blocks away, and they have the right to do it, but you can't see Ground Zero from there. So, you know, as if that would make the bigots against this community centre say, oh, okay, well, that's alright then. But, you know, I could not give a fuck, you know, whether they could see it or not. Are we now saying now that Muslims are no longer allowed to look at Ground Zero? I mean, must they avert their gaze whenever they go near it? I mean, what would happen if they looked at it? I think they should use every other sense that they have when it comes to Ground Zero. They should be able to look at it and remember it, walk on it, you know, touch, you know, any kind of building materials that's on that ground. I couldn't give a fuck whether they could see it or not. I really don't. It means absolutely nothing to me. It's just like this whole fucking argument, you know. It's just a whole lot of nothing. I honestly, if I found out that if there wasn't all this argument, you know, if I found out that it was built, if I found out it wasn't built, I'd feel the same. I really could not be that bothered. It's just when we come to religious intolerance and prejudice, is when, you know, when I act, and when that really gets it really gets on my tits. That's what I'm trying to say. It really gets on my tits. Anyway, that's all I had to say. bit of a rambly ass video, but you know, I'm sorry. And I keep apologising. Cheerio.